Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Foreclosure Help 777, where we talk about everything foreclosure related. Today we're going to talk about a motion that Carrington filed in federal court. The motion that he's filing is called a motion to disqualify counsel. So we're going to talk about that. In his federal case, which you can see here, his case number 124CV07575, Carrington versus PHH Mortgage Corporation. You can see the last things that was filed here. Notice of appearance for Henshaw and Culbertson and for Ronald Park, the two other defendants that were amended to this case. So what happened was, we can look at the notice of appearance. You can see here, this guy here, Omar Malan, I can't even pronounce his last name, Malamkik. Anyway, that's the attorney of Henshaw and Culbertson. They're saying in this notice of appearance that they are going to represent Ronald Park, as you can see here. They also filed a notice of appearance that they're going to represent Henshaw and Culbertson, and they also filed a notice of appearance, same person, that they're going to represent PHH Mortgage Corporation. So this guy Omar thinks he's going to represent all three defendants in his case. So what did Carrington do? Carrington filed a motion to disqualify counsel. Let's go over this so you can understand it better. There's a conflict of interest here. Comes now plaintiff William Carrington, pro se, and respectfully moves the court for an order disqualifying Omar Malankik and his law firm, Henshaw and Culbertson, from representing the following defendants: PHH Mortgage Corporation, Ronald Park, and Henshaw and Culbertson, LLP. This motion is brought pursuant to the court's inherent authority to regulate proceedings, enforce ethical standards, and preserve the integrity of the judicial process. Introduction. This case involves serious allegations of fraudulent submissions of promissory notes, violations of the FDCPA and RICO, and other federal and state laws. Omar, a partner of Henshaw and Culbertson, is concurrently representing PHH Mortgage Corporation, the servicer accused of fraudulent conduct. Ronald Park, an attorney at Henshaw directly implicated in the submission of fraudulent documents, and Henshaw and Culbertson LLP itself, which is also a defendant. This concurrent representation creates an irreconcilable conflict of interest, undermining the fairness and integrity of these proceedings. Ethical rules, case law, and public policy mandate the disqualification of Henshaw and Culbertson LLP from representing any party in this case. The factual background: conflict of interest. Plaintiff has identified the potential conflict of interest in his initial disclosures, document 35, filed on January 23, 2025, and the Certificate of Interested Parties, document 36, filed the same day pursuant to Rule 7.1 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. These filings note that Omar represents both PHH Mortgage Corporation, Ronald Park, and Henshaw and Culbertson LLP. The concurrent representation of these parties represents a clear conflict, as the firm's loyalty may be divided between its clients, PHH Mortgage Corporation and Ronald Park, and it may be unable to present the interests of all parties impartially. Plaintiff's initial disclosures and certificate of interest in parties state: plaintiff notes that potential conflict of interest may arise in this case due to the concurrent representation of multiple defendants by Omar, a partner at Henshaw and Culbertson. Molemek represents both PHH Mortgage Corporation, Ronald Park, and Henshaw and Culbertson LLP. This concurrent representation may create a conflict of interest, as the law firm may have divided loyalties between its client, PHH Mortgage Corporation, and its partner, Ronald Park, which can impair the firm's ability to present the interest of all parties involved without compromising its professional responsibilities. Henshaw's role in submitting fraudulent documents. Henshaw and Culbertson LLP, through its attorneys Ronald Park and Omar, is implicated in the submission of multiple counterfeit and forged promissory notes in the state court docket and during trial. These fraudulent submissions directly involve Henshaw, making it a key player in the alleged misconduct. The law firm's role in the alleged fraudulent scheme creates an inherent conflict of interest in its representation of both PHH Mortgage Corporation and Ronald Park. Legal standard. Disqualification of counsel is warranted when a conflict of interest materially limits an attorney's ability to represent a client or compromises the fairness of the proceedings. The court has the inherent authority to disqualify counsel to protect the integrity of the judicial process. And it says to see these two cases, which basically say what he's saying. Relevant ethical rules. Rule 1.7, concurrent conflict of interest. A lawyer shall not represent a client if the representation involves concurrent conflict of interest unless all clients provide informed consent and the lawyer can competently represent each client. Rule 1.9, duties to former clients. A lawyer cannot represent a client if the representation is materially adverse to the interest of a former client in a substantially related manner. Now this is a big one. Rule 3.7, lawyer as a witness. Of the New York Rules of Professional Conduct, an attorney is prohibited from acting as both advocate and witness in a trial where the attorney is likely to be a necessary witness. As the allegations in this case involve fraudulent submissions of promissory notes which implicate both Omar, Ronald Park, and Henshaw and Culbertson, the firm is likely to be called as a witness to explain their involvement in the alleged misconduct. This creates a direct conflict as the firm cannot effectively represent its clients while also being a necessary witness in the trial. Allowing them to do so would violate Rule 3.7, further undermining the fairness and the integrity of the proceedings. Argument. Concurrent representation creates an irreconcilable conflict of interest. Henshaw and Culbertson LLP representation of PHH Mortgage, Ronald Park, and itself presents a textbook example of a concurrent conflict of interest. These defendants have divergent interests. PHH Mortgage Corporation may attempt to shift blame for fraudulent filings onto Henshaw or Ronald Park. Ronald Park, who was responsible for submitting the fraudulent documents, may seek to absolve himself by blaming PHH or others. Henshaw and Culbertson, as a named defendant, cannot effectively defend itself while simultaneously representing PHH and Ronald Park. The conflicting representation violates Rule 1.7 by materially limiting Henshaw's ability to competently and impartially represent the interest of all defendants. The firm's divided loyalty will inevitably result in a compromised defense for each party. Henshaw's central role in the fraudulent submissions. Henshaw and Culbertson LLP's involvement in submitting fraudulent documents is crucial to this case. The forged and counterfeit promissory notes presented during state court litigation and at trial are direct evidence of intentional fraud. Attorneys Ronald Park and Omar, as agents of Henshaw, played a direct role in the submission of these fraudulent documents. The firm's defense will likely focus on justifying these discrepancies, which directly conflicts with its duty to provide an independent and impartial defense for PHH and Ronald Park. Disqualification is necessary to protect procedural fairness. Allowing Henshaw and Culbertson LLP to continue representing all defendants undermines the fairness in these proceedings in the following ways. Dilution of advocacy. Henshaw's primary concern will likely be defending itself as a defendant, which will dilute its ability to advocate effectively for PHH and Ronald Park. Erosion of judicial integrity. Courts have long recognized that even the appearance of impropriety can justify disqualification and maintain public confidence in the judicial process. In light of serious ethical concerns and potential for divided loyalty, Disqualification is necessary to preserve the fairness in these proceedings and protect integrity of the judicial process. Conclusion. For the reasons set forth above, plaintiff respectfully requests this court to issue an order disqualifying Omar and the law firm of Hinshaw and Culbertson from representing PHH Mortgage Corporation, Ronald Park, and Hinshaw and Culbertson in this matter. So, that's that. And now you guys understand what Carrington is trying to do to disqualify Omar. They'll have to find different counsel. And that might be a problem for them. So guys, if you have any questions about this video, you can always send me a text message or email to foreclosurehelp777@gmail.com, or join us on our private Facebook group where we help each other. And as always, guys, have a blessed day.